The largest wealth transfer in history is coming to you. The AGB says that crypto may produce the world's first trillionaires in the next decade, and it will all kickstart next week. Trump, the House and the Senate have just passed the One Big Beautiful bill, and they are already moving on to their next agenda, the next policies, the passing of the Genius Act, the stablecoin bill, the structuring of the Clarity Act, the market structure bill, as well as the anti-cbdc Act. We have a huge 2 weeks ahead for crypto in Congress, and it kickstarts next week Wednesday as the Senate Bank Committee tackles a market structure hearing, and then the House's Crypto Week kicks off starting July 14th. Expect a lot of volatility and likely bullish price action, especially for XRP, starting next week, as there's so much positive retail support right now of Trump's crypto bills and policies and agendas. We want to see this market explode. We can see as we read on, a new survey indicates strong support of Trump's crypto policies among investors. 81% are familiar with Trump's policies and 73% of them approve, which is the highest approval rating across all issues. And that translates to a net 56 plus approval rating on crypto policy, which is absolutely insane, by the way. His highest one by a large margin. Notably as well, 71% of crypto investors that have been surveyed, they feel that these policies have positively impacted crypto as an investment, with nearly half of all retail investors agreeing, and this optimism is a driving action. 64% of crypto investors and 40% of TradFi retail investors are now more likely than ever before to buy into crypto. We are going to see this market explode, and the big assets, the ones with a lot of regulatory clarity and adoption like XRP, are going to see the most amount of this liquidity and capital. Overall, 82% now say that it is a great time to buy and invest. The sentiment from institutions, from investors like us to politicians right now is extremely bullish, and I would say there's probably a 90% chance at least of the Genius stablecoin bill passing through the Senate and therefore going straight to Donald Trump's desk where he can officially sign it into law. Of course, this will open up the floodgates for crypto adoption for the stablecoin market, one that is projected to reach upwards of $2 trillion by 2028, which is roughly an 8x in size from its current $250 billion market cap. This is so big and huge for XRP for a number of reasons. But one of them is the fact that they have RLUSD, their stablecoin. Their stablecoin that launched just 6 months ago, by the way, that is gaining significant, rapid adoption and traction right now, and is accelerating worldwide. We can see here another big update from Ripple. The Swiss regulated Amina Bank has just become the first bank globally to support RLUSD, offering custody and trading to institutional clients. So what does that mean? Well, that is even more regulatory approval that Ripple have. They have it in Dubai, in the United States, in the United Kingdom, Japan, Singapore, throughout many regions in the European Union as well as Switzerland. This enhances and strengthens Ripple's credibility and trust by the legacy banks and huge financial institutions, the big money, bridging that gap between them and us in DeFi. And the passing of the stablecoin bill will open up the floodgates for Wall Street to get more involved in the DeFi space, to use assets like RUSD to use the XRP ledger. This bill won't just increase the demand for stablecoins, but in particular, regulated stablecoins. This will increase the demand for RLUSD in particular, and thus the demand and value of XRP. Ripple is aiming to become their own regulated US bank as well, which will massively help in their expansion and trust with TradFi of RLUSD and XRP. It is honestly wild to think that this time last year, we were still waiting for the SEC to move on spot Ethereum ETFs, and now this space is accelerating so fast, faster than we can keep up with it. Bloomberg had predicted over a 90% chance that another 6 altcoins will see ETF finance this year. And of course, at the top of that list is XRP. So in my belief, not financial advice, there's a guaranteed chance that we're going to see so much FOMO this coming week, going into next week as well, as investors anticipate the passing of the Genius Act and the positive developments and progression of the Anti-CBDC Act and the Clarity Act. XRP is currently valued at $2.21, down roughly 1.91% on the daily time frame. This is not XRP's true value, and we are still in a maturing market. 3 trillion is all that's in crypto right now, and we are still blindly following Bitcoin, currently at $107,000. It is still undervalued for Bitcoin as well, and right now we can see Bitcoin dominance is extremely high, 65.5%. Once we get rate cuts, once we get the passing of these bills, altcoin dominance will start to shine, XRP dominance will start to break through, and it will rally so much higher. The exponential growth coming to the altcoin sector will shatter all skepticism around digital assets as a legitimate investment. People ignoring XRP now are set to miss the largest wealth transfer in history. The wealth gap between crypto native and traditional investors will mirror the early internet boom, but with even more force. Early adopters of XRP will get richer faster than most of the savvy tech investors back in the 1990s. We are truly blessed and truly fortunate. Bitcoin's going to break out likely very, very soon. I would like to speculate coming next week as well. And XRP will start its own bull run later on the cycle as well. Crypto is going to produce the world's first trillionaires in the next decade, and we will have the ability to achieve financial freedom with XRP. And if you don't want to miss out on the incoming opportunity, then come up more here in the VIP, wop.com/coin factory. From alpha institutional research documents, learn what smart money is saying to their clients, allowing us to get ahead of the retail market, educational courses, trade alerts, weekly live streams, and so much more. Check it all out. 7-day free trial, link down below in the description. And as always, do your own research, don't look short term, think long term. And I'll see you in the next one.